Welcome back, all you animals, to another React out there. This one being one that concluded just last week, but obviously very crazy. The numbers are now officially out on the Ludwig Subathon over there on Twitch. Currently, for now, holding the Twitch sub record. Maybe some other big names gunning for him. We are here to break down the numbers. Hunter had at least a couple videos on this, and some stellar numbers at that. The only one that I am really well aware of is, of course, the Twitch sub record, surpassing Ninja and his record at 269,000 subscribers. He has now surpassed that, being Ludwig, 280,000 at the end of his stream. That is ever since, of course, started to come down. But despite all of that, I mean, it's a feat that no one ever has come across, and the money involved, not necessarily going directly to Ludwig, absurd.
It's pretty crazy overall. And also, just before I get ahead of myself, you reminded me of XQC talking about doing his own, which I don't even want to think about the numbers on that one. And like, so many people have weighed in saying, who knows, like XQC might just die if he tries to do that, because he's going to try to do it all
But
by
he'll
himself.
die a wealthier man.
Right, exactly.
But anyway, diving into numbers, like total money spent, you got all the gist, the document now published.
So I'll read off a few of them. Total money spent by chat, so that's including subs, bits, media share, is $1.4 million. That's how much people spent overall during this subathon, which is a crazy amount of money, and gets even crazier when you realize how much Ludwig gets out of that. So after taxes, Ludwig ends up making $209,000. So that is a huge jump overall. You know, like, they spend $1.4 million, which people, I think, outside of this world will think like, oh, they spent 1.4 mil. That means he must be making a ton of money.
My mom would think that.
Right. I mean, it's fair to think that. And $209,000 is still a lot of money.
Still a good chunk of change.
But so he pays his mods $177,000 total, which was about 8 to 10K per mod, which is awesome. And that's a great 1 month salary.
Yes,
you know?
I don't think there's many if any mods out there making that much. I mean, I don't think anyone's denying the fact that Ludwig, despite him having a lot of financial gain from this right now and in the future, and just gain overall, right? He did it so generously. So I think he did a great job. I don't think anyone's denying that.
Right. And we even, in one of my videos, I talked about one of his mods posting to Twitter about how this helped him pay off his debt, like his credit card debt and everything, which is just crazy that, you know, you ended up being a mod for someone on a streaming platform, and that led you to being able to pay off your credit card. Just crazy. And then he's also giving away, $365,000 to charity.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, great. And those are probably the main numbers, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just crazy to know that, you know, it's not a knock on Ninja, but the fact that Ninja did it in a totally different manner, and I'm not knocking Ninja, right? It was a different time. It was not a subathon. It was a gradual rise through the peak of Fortnite that he broke his sub record and playing with Drake and all of those things. To see Ludwig tackle this, and I don't think he had this plan in mind at the very beginning, but the fact that I think even Pete has mentioned, and we're all thinking it, how much was not included in the document for donations, right? Yeah. It's got to be a sizable chunk, probably not a, you know, far out number, but still.
Yeah, it was only counting like media share for the donos, and I think there was a lot of people just doing generic donations to the sub as they were going along, but it's still, I mean, even if he made like 1.6 million, it's still a wild amount. Like, that's, the man goes to sleep on camera, wakes up the next day, takes a shower, does his day, goes back to sleep, and in that time he's made like $27,000.
Yeah, the craziest part is he was kind of just living as much of an average life as you could have possibly whilst on stream as well.
There's actually some pretty interesting stats that so this is a full document that is, I think partially his mods and some other people made, that they just went into so much detail on it.
You're gonna link that in the description?
Yeah, we can put that in
You guys
there.
can check it out. It's crazy numbers.
And at one point, they break down how much he was making hourly per category that he was streaming. And so you're talking about him sleeping. Well, while he was sleeping, he was making quote unquote, like, people were spending about $1,972 per hour. Which is just pretty crazy overall.
Like, the man goes to sleep, wakes up, takes a shower, and by the time he's out of the shower, he's like 25 to 27K richer.
Yeah, which was 32.5% of his stream was sleeping.
Yeah, and I guess now we kind of look forward to see the drop-off, because there has to be a sub drop-off. Us currently checking just about a week after, he's already down to 220K. But you got to imagine he'll probably continue to get a little bit of a pretty big financial outcome from the subs who do remain with him and remain loyal for as long as you know it's going to drag out for some time.
Or
obviously.
just the people that use their Twitch Prime and forget, and it just auto renews.
Yep.
So that's a nice chunk of change in his pocket for several months at least.
I think at the end of the day, he handled it so well, and it's just obviously a great historical point that we'll look back on for a while. Now with the kind of hinting at the XQC is doing the same thing, that's all I'm thinking about now is, you know, who's going to do it next? How are they going to do it? Are they going to mimic his model to a certain extent, paying the mods, and, you know, while they sleep, they got to entertain in some form or fashion? If there's anyone that can do it, though, I think XQC is going to be a
He'll do it in
powerhouse.
like 4 days, but he won't sleep the entire time.
Yeah.
It'll just be like 4 straight days of like wide awake, cracked out on caffeine, XQC, just doing
GTA.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? We'll see what happens. I think, like you said, I think he did it in a great way. Obviously, some people are always going to be upset about
Always
things,
critics.
right? And so people, like you said, are upset about, you know, oh, he did this in such a cheap way compared to Ninja. Ninja worked, you know, so hard for it, and like he was actually playing games and entertaining. It's like, well, Ludwig recorded his life for a month.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
I mean, if you tell me you have to stream like for 8 hours once with Drake, or you have to let Twitch watch your life for 31 days, like F that noise. I'm gonna stream with Drake for like one time and call it good.
Yeah, I mean, yes, Ninja. I mean, that just it speaks to also to the volumes that was the peak of Fortnite. But either way, crazy amount spent, a Twitch record broken. Ludwig currently holds it. Who's coming at him next? Again, if you guys want to check the description for that with all of the numbers down below, it's been a great historical moment that we will look back on. But who's going to break it next on Twitch? We'll catch you guys back here in the next one.